Hey, this is Notser, and we are in the Prinz Eugen. This is the Tier A premium German cruiser. It's basically a clone of the Hipper. That's not a bad thing, but it's very close. Decimal point changes. That's the difference between the two ships. You can also get a really nice camouflage, but I don't know why you would want to invest more into this particular ship. It just means that it costs basically the same, if not more, than a battleship, and it's a lot harder to use because it's a cruiser. But my build is pretty standard fare. I do take demolition, I take a drill and rush. The turret traverse is very quick, don't need expert marksman, and it's a cruiser. So take demolition expert. I don't care. Well, don't take demolition. Well, you could take demolition expert if you want on a British cruiser. I don't think you would gain a lot from it, but not gonna judge your journey. So why did I play this? Well, the German cruisers, the tier 8, 9, and 10 German cruisers received a buff in the form of better bow and stern armor. Now, that includes the Admiral Hipper, the Prinz Eugen, the Rune, and the Hindenburg. Now, what was the buff? It went from 25 millimeters of bow and stern armor to 27 millimeters. Now, what does this actually do for the game, Notser? Well, it does a couple things. It forces you, if you are a 152 or 155 millimeter gun, to pick up an inertia fuse high explosive in order to do damage to the bow or the stern location. That's pretty significant. The HE will not pin and it will shatter on contact. Oh, by the way, here's a French cruiser showing a ton of side. Let's see how effective the AP is. Yeah. Single shell on target, and we Citadel him. That is the French cruisers in a nutshell. It is just such a... And another Citadel. It's just such a difficult line to play. Very, very, very high maintenance. You need to dodge a lot. But what does the 27 millimeters do beyond HE requirements and all that stuff? It actually requires that the AP caliber, the shell caliber being fired at you, is larger if your bow on or stern on is larger than 380 millimeters roughly. You will not overmatch 27 millimeters with just a 380 millimeter gun. You will need to get 410, 406, 460, 420, and you got to be blazing it all day. So that's a pretty significant buff, right? The fact that you've got to have a caliber that is, I mean, it's competitive at tier 8, right? But tier 7 and tier 6, even some tier 8s, they can't get a better gun caliber than 380. The Tirpitz, the Bismarck, I believe, of course, the Scharnhorst, the Gneisenau. That's a pretty significant amount of ships that you might run up against. Warspite, the list goes on. So what should I do against those ships? You should go bow on, baby. You need to force them to have to decide to shoot your superstructure. That's the only thing they can shoot if you're bow on. And they're firing AP. If they're firing HE, they will do HE damage to the bow, to the stern, but it won't be the mega damage output that they would normally do. And conveniently, with this patch, the Tirpitz was buffed. So I'm seeing a lot of Tirpitz in the matchmaker. The Tirpitz cannot penetrate your bow. So we'll see if we get an opportunity to show off exactly what I'm talking about. There is a Gneisenau there. There is a Dunkirk. Dunkirk does not have more than 380. That is a significant part of this entire patch that you're just not going to know. You're not going to know, oh, by the way, where do you get that number from, Notser? It is the it's the armor on the bow, so 27 times 14.3. It gives me 386. There needs to be a gun caliber of 386.1 in order to pin. Where did I get that number? I just looked it up. It's not a part of the game. You don't see this. Oh yeah, you can overmatch 14.3. Remember that number, 14.3. In World of Tanks, it's 3. In World of Warships, it's 14.3. So that's what's changed. Previously, 25 times 14.3 357. That's a pretty sad caliber. A lot of battleships can overpin that. Honestly, I don't know that there is a single battleship other than the Scharnhorst. And is the Dunkirk 330 or 360? I don't know a single mainline battleship, normal battleship, that would have difficulty penetrating 25 millimeters. But 27 is a different story. A whole bunch of strategies just came online that never were possible. You could never go bow on aggressively towards an enemy battleship and be successful. You can now. So, we did some damage to the enemies on the left flank. We came back to this, not the center, of course, but the sea point. There is the enemy French cruiser, and I want to punish him so hard. Oh, they take so much damage. It is such a difficult line. It is nothing that this player is doing wrong. It is the line itself. And of course, we find the Citadel. We Citadel him for like 1,000. You know, who cares? But the French cruiser line, punish, 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 punish. It is such a fragile line. It really is an easy kill for cruisers and battleships if you focus it down. Now, he's not the only one in the area. We got a Dunkirk. We got a New Orleans. I would love to Citadel the New Orleans, but the New Orleans is just not cooperating. This dude knows what's going on. The game's not looking too good, and I did just narrowly avoid getting Citadeled. We run into the naked Amagi. Shield your eyes! Oh God, he's so naked. It's okay, but French battleship. He lacks the shell caliber to penetrate my front. I'm going to present my bow to the ship. He is not going to know how to deal with this, most likely. I would say 80 to 90% of the population has no idea exactly where all these calibrations are going, or even if they know, maybe they don't remember. Maybe they came home from work, this is the first game they play, they just shoot what they think. Oh, surely I can overpin. I've got a massive gun caliber. I can overpin the front of a cruiser. You would think, and I still want to take out that New Orleans, and I'm really feeling the pressure. There are a couple battleships, Bismarck, Tirpitz. They both have great secondaries. They're on my flank, but they're dealing with the Scharnhorst, so I need to make this happen quickly. Get in range, Citadel the guys, and use my torpedoes. Still keep presenting the bow to the Dunkirk. He is the biggest threat. If I mess up for 1 second, he will just instantly Citadel me, and I'll be dead. So that's what you need to do. Small caliber, present your bow to it. Oh, please kill the New Orleans. I want to kill him so bad. And I'm trying to get as close as I can to the Dunkirk. I'm going to juke and send my torpedoes. He just doesn't have the ability to turn as quick as... And of course, he's dead. It doesn't really matter. But he doesn't really have the ability to turn as quick as I do. Come on, get the New Orleans dead. Just get him dead. We get another Citadel. Good. We're still taking massive damage. I can't afford to miss the Gneisenau. The Gneisenau, he seemed to have an idea that going after my bow would have been bad. Yeah, but he still didn't do as much damage as he probably would have hoped. We dodge out of the way. Well, we didn't really dodge, but get as close as I possibly can. Hit the torpedoes, Notser. I'm going to just shoot into the side of him, of course. Why not? Take out the target. Great. We already know he used his port side or his starboard side torpedoes. I don't really want to deal with those. Oh, the New Orleans is right on my flank. It's not the best situation, but team takes him out. And I'm going to try and present my bow as quickly as I possibly can to the Tirpitz. And he is shooting my bow. I don't know why he shot my bow. I don't know that he knows. So now, we are immune to his damage with his main battery if he shoots the bow. If he shoots the superstructure, he will overpin and not do as much damage as he's really searching for. That's why people do this. They're searching for that damage. And yeah, the enemy dive bomber, of course, is going to drop on me. He's going to do mega damage. Oh, good. And we're going to use our torpedoes. We are going to push into this guy. We're going to be pushing with our bow, facing the targets. They take out the Bismarck. Great. I would love to see where the Tirpitz is looking. It appears that he might... Oh, he's sending torpedoes. Okay, he's not looking at us. Turn into him. We might send our torpedoes. His guns are looking this way, though. I'm really worried he'll switch real quick. So I'm trying to angle as quickly as I can. Get a little... You see the rock there. I want to get the torpedoes in. Oh. We're going to... Yes! Yes! We slipped it right in, barely alive. But we're still alive. Oh, Prinz Eugen, you can leave me alone, my friend. And that was pretty awesome, wasn't it? How could we do that? Because we had knowledge that our bow would, in fact, protect us. We knew the gun caliber that was being fired at us, and all we had to do is compensate for that. Now, if you're in their position, shoot the superstructure. That's the only thing that's being presented. Elevate over those front guns and shoot the superstructure. But in my position, and in your position, if a Gneisenau, a Scharnhorst, or a Tirpitz, or a Bismarck, or a Dunkirk, if they try to use their main battery on you, go bow on. Even the hood, if it does come, I have no idea when it's coming. If the hood comes, it's got 380. You could do it too to the hood. So, major buffs to the ability to brawl for the German cruiser line. Really appreciate it. It's fantastic. It really is fun. I'm a brawler. I am a shot caller. I'm a baller when it comes to, man, I'm so white. I'm so white. But it's really enjoyable to be that aggressive around battleships and to know definitively they can't penetrate me and citadel me if I present them with my bow. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, pretty cool. So we're going to capture B point. It's not looking as good as I would like. Maybe my teammate can do damage to the Prinz Eugen. Obviously, I'm very low. Very low. So I need to be careful. I need to be very, very careful. I'm trying to get a little bit of damage. No citadels. Let him a little bit too much, and he's trying to take me out because 997 hit points. Yeah, kill him. That's the good thing to do. And oh no. We've got company. We've got the enemy dive bomber incoming. And look at this squadron. Oh, it's just so big. Nothing I could do there. He was easily going to do 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 damage. But we captured B. Team was able to kill the Prinz Eugen, which I didn't know at the time. And they need to try and go to A point. That's really all that's left for them to do. There's about 4 minutes and 5 seconds left. There's enough time to capture A point and to win the game. Prinz Eugen, though. Hipper, Hindenburg, Rhone. It was great. It is a fantastic buff. Probably one of the biggest buffs they included in 0.6.4. The Tirpitz secondary buff is also significant. But this has really... can't forget my beloved, my Mogami. Mogami is beautiful as well. These are ships that needed it, and now they fill a role that maybe didn't exist previously. You know, the American cruisers have the same armor, but they don't have torpedoes. Why would they get close? There's no incentive for them to get close. There is incentive to angle towards a target, for sure, but there's no incentive for an American cruiser to get close to big battleships. Well, now we have that in the German cruiser line. They've got enough armor to deal with at least the Germans. You can't deal with Yamato, you can't deal with Izumo, you can't deal with Nagato, you can't deal with Amagi, you can't deal with North Carolina, Missouri. You can't deal with that. They can overmatch that. But in specific situations against German battleships, you can do it because the Germans cannot penetrate the German. It's very weird to say. It is very odd. It is very odd that the German battleships, until Tier 9, cannot penetrate German cruisers from the front or from the rear. It's just the way it works out, right? So yeah. We've got more incoming for the friendly. I do feel like that the enemy aircraft carrier is somewhere over by A point. And the reason I do is because whenever he sends out his dive bomber, it always comes from that area. He doesn't want to waste time. The aircraft, the fighters, I think he's just trying to see where all his enemy is. But his dive bomber is right on track. And yep, the Saipan is over by A point. Speaking of carriers and battleships, I am very interested in sharing my thoughts on any carrier or battleship that might be available. And come on, Bayern, take him out. Oh, I think he overpinned. I don't think he settled at all. We gotta capture the base. We can't allow him to die. The dive bomber just attacked, and the next attack is gonna kill him. It's just safe, 100%. You know it's gonna happen. So he needs to capture A before the rearm. Thankfully, I think it's 8 or 9, depending on what air superiority, if you've taken that or not. His dive bomber is going to take a really long time to rearm. A really long time to rearm. I think it takes like 45 to 50 seconds to rearm. Some insane number. It's based on the number of people in the squadron. Makes sense, right? So, I think the Bayern is going to capture the base, and I think he's going to die. Now, we're going to have about a minute left. The enemy's going to get, a 60-point swing, 120-point swing. We're going to need to get probably another 150 points in the next minute or so in order to win the game. We do have 3 bases, which is about 9 points every, 9 points every 2 seconds, 3 seconds? I believe we will be okay. We'll have, it'll be close. It'll be close, but I think we'll be okay. And here comes the dive bomber. Goodbye, Bayern. You did it for science. You did it well. And now they're up by 60 points. So 40 seconds to gain 60 points on enemy. Clearly, the Saipan is not going to capture the base. He's not going to stop the capture. We've got, 30 seconds? There's, I'm hoping my team can get it. Obviously, if a teammate does something well, or teammates do something well, you need to really be nice to them. You need to tell them, hey, you did a good job. I see people, oh no, I failed on Notser's stream. Oh no, he had me in one of his videos. Oh, please don't think like that. I understand there's stress involved. Oh, there's someone I watch content on. I really appreciate it. I'm just a normal person. I fail all the time. I'm failing right now. So don't feel bad. Team did a good job bringing that back, though. Bayern did a good job. I did a good job. I felt like I did a good job. We did almost get 1 million credits in the Prinz Eugen, but I was rocking the Gamescom camo. 3 kills, 108,000 damage. Around, 5 torpedoes? 2,200 base XP. Yeah, that Bayern did a great job. 2,117. Compliments going everywhere. It was a really enjoyable game and a great example of exactly what they did. I would have died. We would have lost the game if this was 0.6.3 in the exact same situations. Straight up, that's what would have happened. But we didn't. We stayed alive and we won the game. Now, pretty hybrid damage, 1.1 million fighters. That's okay. It's a cruiser. Good deal. Either way, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.